Hey everyone, Doug and Karl here at our weekly featured event at the TJetClub Hub. We're going to talk about a little bit of TJet stuff and other stuff as well. We got AFX, we got Tyco, but it's mostly TJet. That's where our hearts lie. So first of all, one of the things that if you've never been to the website TJetClub.com, I also do sales and services. We do 3D printed bodies. We have some specialized tools just for working on slot cars. And then also, if you've got a favorite chassis that, say, you broke at some point, the copper has busted off, and you thought, you know what, that's no good anymore. One of the services that we do is we go in and we replace the copper. I pull everything out, clean it up ultrasonically, go over it, and then replace all the copper with solid rivets as well. So if that, so if that interests you, if you got some chassis that maybe you don't want to try and tackle, and you want to have them hit the track again, go to TJetClub.com, and there's some information there. You can get a hold of me, and we can take care of your chassis repairs and get those TJets back on the track. One of the also things that I've been doing here lately is sometimes the insides will melt a little bit. Doesn't happen very often.
The brush tube.
Yeah, the brush tube. So I actually go in and I drill those out and replace them with brass sleeves. And they seem to be working pretty good. I've done...
beautiful work.
I've done a number of them, and they look good and they drive well. So if that's something that interests you as well, if they're burnt really bad, then sometimes we can't repair them. But if they're just a little, how would you say?
Brown.
Yeah, modified a little.
Moderate melting.
Yeah. We can go ahead and repair those as well. If you go to the Facebook page, TJet, or Facebook.com/TJetClub. There's some videos and then some pictures as well as some of them that I've done lately. So
another thing with that Doug can use, if you have chassis with bad brush spring copper, and you have broken chassis, modified chassis that have good copper in them, that copper can be salvaged from those chassis and then put into chassis with bad copper. And so it's a way of really making use of all of those items rather than just flipping them into the trash can.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. And so those bad broken chassis, highly modified chassis, if the copper's good, then they still have got a value there.
Yeah, and then we can repair some of the other ones with the broken copper and put all original parts back into them. So that's nice. If that's not the case, then I use dash copper or wizard copper. It's up to you. So. But there's a couple of places that actually make the replacement copper now, so that's kind of nice. But last year before they were making that available, I was going in and actually making some of these pieces by hand.
You handmade them, yeah.
And they worked all right, but it's a lot of work. So TJetClub.com, check it out. All kinds of fun stuff there. Next thing we're going to do is talk about our group as well, the Hosers. Facebook.com/RC Hosers, and that's our club. That's where we race, and there's all kinds of fun stuff there. But over the past few weeks, we've talked about some of the classes that we run. We started with stock tire, stock TJets, and then we went to stock TJets, and then last week we went to the Eurojet, which is a version of stock. And tonight we're going to finish up the stock class.
The base classes.
Yeah. So I'm going to hand it over to Karl. He's going to talk about the next class that we run in our stock series, which is the big tires. So hand it over to him. Let him show you a little bit on.
Well, this is great because I get to show off all my cars, and
that's right.
So, but what we started is years and years ago, we ran what we called the hot rod class, and it was a stock chassis, the same rules as all the other classes, but with truck hubs like a hot rod comes with, truck axles, standard gearing, and then a hot rod body. Now, initially when we started this, the only body that was available was the Aurora hot rod body. And then Dash began to create his first generation of hot rod bodies. And so a lot of the guys started racing them just because they were such a reasonably priced body and a really good one to boot, his first generation of bodies. We allow the hot rod silicone tire. We used to buy PVTs, right? Penn Valley tires. Now I actually don't remember where I got that last batch from, but the rear tire is a silicone. And the front tire is kind of open to debate. You can run the stock TJet or Aurora hot rod tire. I like to split silicone tires and then create a front tire out of that. If you took a PV10 and mounted it on an X2 hub and spun it in your Dremel and you touched it with an X-Acto knife, you ended up with two tires. And that's what I've done on some of mine. I really like that. I like the height, and then the softer tire seems to give it a little better handling. So now I'm totally letting the club know some of my secrets here. And so, but anyway, that's what we do. It's a real simple class, and they're a challenge to drive. They're different than everything else. But in the last 2 years, maybe it was just last year, we decided to start calling it big tire. And because the chassis doesn't change if you run an Indy body, so if you decide you want to run an Indy body, then the chassis itself doesn't change. So the rule, we just basically allowed it for running the Indy body. And I haven't even set one of these up because an Indy car is no match for a hot rod. But we did allow dune buggies, and this set me up. I made this thing, and I absolutely adore it. But Mike Pinnell showed up once, and he had a dune buggy that got cut. It might even be one of his kid cars. It got cut off back here, and he was running it in the Bombers class, and I couldn't stop looking at it. I thought, that is the coolest thing ever. So when we opened it up to dune buggy, I thought, all right, so I may have been, a few liberties here and there, but, hot rod coupe doesn't have a roof that extends past the trunk, so I just trimmed this one off. And then I sanded it and polished it. And when I talk about slot cars being therapeutic, this was one right here. I was up to about 2 a.m, but I love it. And then so the hot rod rule is real simple. This is the first one I put together. It's an Aurora red Doug Crawford. Doug Crawford made the decals for me. This was many years ago. And then the second car, right? Same theme. Now, this is a Dash body when Dash first came out with his bodies. And Doug Crawford made those decals too. Isn't that fantastic? And then that third car, right? Okay, so I finally did get off this theme after the third car, right? The numbers and the whole... Oh, did you catch the hot rod hubs? Yeah, that's the early ones there. And then when I was a kid... they had a gold Testors spray paint, and that was it right there. And that was one of my favorite colors of all time. And so that's one of my fun cars. And then, of course, you got to have a flatback hot rod coupe with red hubs and skull and crossbones. And then this one here, I race this car at least once every year. And this was Fred Gett's car that he built. He passed away, I guess it's been about 5 years now. And I ended up buying his whole collection, and so this is one of his cars that I kept in mind, and I try to run it at least once every year. Fred was he promoted a lot of that stuff. He's the reason we have a bomber class, which we're going to talk about next week, which is my favorite class. And then these are just illegal cars that I don't get to race, but I had fun creating. That's the back of a chaparral that I molded onto the back of that thing. That just makes it look like a total weirdo. And then another Dash car, but I did polished aluminum hubs and the super modified exhaust.
Those Nerf bars.
Yeah, that keeps people off you. And then, because I absolutely fell in love with it, I was on eBay one day and I was like, oh my God, I've got to have it. And so it was already cut, so I just kind of finished it and made it look better. And I think I ran this in the last race of the year, and I just had a blast with it. And but I'm going to limit it to 2. That's
You show your pink one?
Oh my God, the rarest one of them all, right? More rare than black, more rare than gray. is a pink hot rod, and yes, that is molded in color, by the way. This was a response to people giving me a bunch of crap about racing a pink freight car, which will come up at some point. And so I thought, oh yeah, and so I called Road Race Replicas. And this was when he was just getting to the point where he wasn't making stuff anymore. And I conned him into making me this car. And he kept asking me, what kind of pink you want? And I said, Barbie pink. And so this is what showed up. And I have had a lot of fun with this car. And I try to race it at least once a year. And but anyway, that's my super rare pink car. And that's another class that if you wanted to add one to your club's agenda, it's a simple class and it is fun and they are challenging. And I got to admit, in the hot rod class, people don't run away from it with that. I mean, they're all fairly close because the body kind of keeps things close, and the tall tires, there's no magnetic assist. The chassis is too far from the track. And so it's a really good, fun, simple class. You run a stock chassis. You can we've bought some of the new hubs that are on the internet, and I put them in the box, and they're really, really nice. They're true. When I bought them for replacements, I was kind of worried about them, and I got them, and they're absolutely true, and the chrome is fantastic. And I can't remember who that was. I need to get my names together. But he was out in New Jersey, I think, and they were just fantastic. You do have to drill them to make them fit, but most of the guys can pull that off. And so that's the class, and that's really the last of the stock classes.
So that's the last of the stock classes in our hosers group. Next week, Bombers.
My absolute favorite.
I think it's a lot of people's favorites.
Considering one year we ran it the whole way through. Normally you have a series, then you change cars, another series. And no one caught the fact that the Bombers was in every series, and we ran it the whole year. No one ever said anything. But
just because everybody was having too much fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Bombers, it opens it up to, you would be amazed. But there's a trick to them that every car has a similarity, which makes it fun, makes it competitive.
Yeah, and that'll be next week, and we'll talk about that. Yeah,
okay, let's wrap up tonight's or today's episode with showing off the highlighted cars that we're going to be auctioning off next Monday, and I'll get this date right this time.
Referring to the calendar now.
14th. Monday the 14th. If you caught the last one, I was a day off. Yeah. Everybody showed up anyway. But
we had more people, so maybe that's what we need to do.
That's right. The 14th at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time, we will have another live auction on our Facebook page, facebook.com/TJetClub. So
and everybody's stuff is out. Everything's been shipped and gone. So some of you guys are going to get your stuff kind of early this week. So.
Yeah. So let's highlight some of the cars that we're going to be auctioning off this week.
I think we got a fun pile of stuff here. I kind of mixed it up today. This week's Hot Rod Coupe is just a body, but it is green with a black interior. And then my personal favorite, a little bit of wear on the pipe and the windshield from carrying it around. It is an all original. And it looks to me like all the chrome, all the bits and stuff are original to it. No replacements on this one. But no chassis on this one. But this was actually in my build box. I was going to race this in the Hot Rod Coupe class, but I have decided I have to back it off a little bit. You saw how many I've got. Okay, and then another TJet. We're going to run this... good looking, number 7 chrome Indy car, and the only real flaw, the windshield's missing. I just caught that. Windshield's missing. But right around the gas cap here, there's a little bit of chrome. I don't know if that's factory or where. It is kind of odd where it's at. But the rest of it actually has really nice chrome. Good finish. And that's going to go up. I guess we can go right down the line. We got a Cheetah coming up. She's a barn find. The body is decent, but the chassis is going to be a builder restorer. And then we got an 80s Tanko Corvette. Decent shape, except I see there's a little bit of paint loss on the roof. And I think that's painted on the inside. No, it's outside. Painted on the outside. And so we got that guy, X2 chassis. Then we're going to run, we always got one NASCAR, right? You got to have at least, well, we got 2 this time. Nice X2, decent car, good corners, not a lot of paint loss on this one. This one's a good car. A few miles, I would say, especially the quarter panels don't look worn. So that's a pretty good one. And then another Nomad for you Nomad collectors. And this is kind of the dark orange, good pipes, nice chassis. This is just a good, clean car. Good chrome. No stressed posts. I have a hard time selling stuff like that, but you can't have them all. And then we're going to sell these guys. And this is a pair. Most of the time, these come out of sets. Maybe they were individually available. I'm not positive on that. But I've had these for a long time, and I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and auction them off for you motorcycle guys out there. And this was early. I think this was maybe the first motorcycles they had made. Okay, and then we always got a Willys, right? Every week we got a Willys. This guy's full race. Okay, this is trimmed wheel wells. This one here is looking to become somebody's race car. Bumper's intact. Got a project chassis underneath it. Looks like it used to be a lighted. Yep, used to be a lighted chassis. Okay, and then here is our G Plus of the week. This is a nice car. Good condition. Posts are good. A lot of times they aren't. Finding this car with bent posts is super common. And this one's got both the mirrors, decals are in place. That's just a decent all-around car. A pretty clean G Plus chassis, no less. We're going to sell the L&M car. It actually has the wing intact. They often aren't. I have a pile of wings if you ever needed a wing. AFX chassis. Okay, that one's going to go. Here's our other NASCAR of the night. Oh my God, that's like a brand new X2 chassis. It's even got the "Don't Burn My Thumb" cover for the armature there. I don't see any visible wear on that one. So if you're a Jeff Gordon of the early days, that's going to be up. All right, there it is, guys. So we just talked about dune buggies. This one's ready for a short roof. It wants a short roof really bad. I can just tell. It told me that. Oh, and this thing. I found this and I thought, I'm going to put this out there. Is that the best looking firebird you've seen? Look at that. 2 colors on that thing.
Turbo.
Turbo, no less.
It doesn't have a turbo, but that's its name.
No. If you know the Firebird, see that one scoop off to one side? That was the turbo thing, just on one side of the hood. That was Formula, maybe had done that too. But this is just a good, clean, all original, proper chassis, matching wheel color. I like this car. The colors on that Firebird are just fantastic. Okay, and then we got this is the second G Plus of the week. If you don't have one of these collection and you have to have them all like I do, then this is one that if you don't have, you won't have to upgrade it. You won't have to upgrade it at all. This is just a good, clean, all original decals. Everything's intact, and that will be coming up. I believe that's an Escort, right? Oh, I found another one of these. Some of the guys really liked that last one, so I found another one of this. It's NOS. It's never been mounted. Beautiful grill. These things are so cool. You know, when he did stuff like this, I don't know how many he really made, because this stuff disappeared. I mean, you just don't see it anymore.
That's a dash.
That is a dash. That was one of his early bodies. And then we have to have this. Don't you love TJets with AFX wheels?
Yeah.
I'm thinking another class.
Yeah,
that's
a hybrid class.
Has to have AFX wheels. Has to have silicones. Because I dig that. Now this one's kind of tough. Roof posts are a little beat up and stuff. So she's a restorer, builder, customizer.
But it's a Camaro.
It's a Camaro, and it does have a nice solid rivet chassis under the bottom of it. So that'll be up. And then this is another one of my personal favorites. If you're going to barn find stuff, this is how it goes, right? It's actually a pretty decent Dino Ferrari, but the chassis is in the short wheelbase. And, of course, Dino is one of the very few European style bodies that was long wheelbase. And so anyway, it's going to go that way because that's how it come to me. Oh, and then apparently we're doing 2 Cheetahs. I got ahead of myself. So here's the second Cheetah of the night.
The number 2, of course.
The number 2. Yeah, that's right, number 2. And nice. Oh, look at that. Solid rivet chassis with the silver rivets. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
I'm kind of wishing I would have spotted that beforehand. But
it's out there now.
It's out there now. And then we're going to mix it up. A real good Kmart truck right here. It's dusty. It needs a little cleaning and stuff. But excellent overall condition. So that's going to go up. It'll be our first semi. And then I thought we would run one more of these. We got another. Oh, my sticker fell off my oil, but you can see there. Oh, no. Okay. And then there's that. So that'll go out. And then I thought if anyone was interested, I do have this little AFX pick case. I have quite a few of these, and I use these to sort certain chassis will go in one, certain body bits and pieces. These are great for sorting, and I have one of these. It's just dusty, dirty. If someone's interested in that. And then
Dun dun dun.
This week will be the mystery box of parts, just like we've done
More
previously.
parts.
Yeah, more parts. And so that's going to be the run of the auction right there.
There you go. You do not want to miss it. It is Monday, the 14th of September, 2020, in case you're catching this a year late.
Yeah,
6:30 Mountain Standard Time. We will start right on time, and usually it runs. We've been getting done in less than 2.5 hours. So if close to 2.5 hours. We're usually done right around there. So having a lot of good time, fun time,
absolutely.
And we're going to keep doing this as long as everybody enjoys it. So make sure that you subscribe here.
Oh! I got one more thing. This week. I wanted to do something that's kind of like appreciation. I'm going to buy one of the TJetClub t-shirts from Doug, and then we're going to set that out, and everybody who wins a lot, we're going to somehow put your name in a jar or whatever the case, and at the end of the auction, we're going to go ahead and give that shirt away. We'll pull the name, pull the number, however we decide to do it. And then, so you have a chance of winning one of the TJetClub shirts.
Yeah, and I promise I'd get them up on the website. Haven't done it yet. I will. I still got a number of them. I got them in large, extra large, and 2X for now. We can have more made anytime we want. So
absolutely, and I shipped one out this week.
Nice.
So,
okay, we're going to get out of here. Make sure that you check out the auction, the 14th of September, 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. You do the math according to your time zone. And like I said earlier, make sure you subscribe here. What we're going to do later on is I'm going to come up with possibly a custom printed body and chassis, and we're going to raffle that off. And the only people who are going to be eligible are going to be people who subscribe to the YouTube channel. So I got a list of names, and we'll figure out a way to randomly select one of those people. So, so we're going to get out of here. Thanks for stopping in, and see you on Monday.